Hey everyone, so I've been seeing this graphics card popping up everywhere lately, the PowerColor Red Devil Spectral White AMD Radeon RX 9070 XT. It's getting a ton of buzz, especially with gamers and creators looking for a solid upgrade without breaking the bank. I finally got my hands on one, and after putting it through its paces, I wanted to share what I found. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the build quality is seriously impressive. This isn't your average off-the-shelf card. The Red Devil Spectral White has this sleek, almost futuristic look with that white shroud and RGB lighting that's not too over the top. It's got a dual fan design with a massive heatsink underneath, which really helps keep temps in check even during long gaming sessions. I ran a few stress tests, and it stayed cool and quiet, no throttling, no fan noise spikes. That's a big deal if you're like me and hate when your rig sounds like a jet engine. Now, let's talk performance. The RX 9070 XT is built on AMD's latest architecture, and it shows. I tested it with some demanding titles like Cyberpunk 2077 at 1440p, and with DLSS or FSR enabled, I was hitting well over 100 FPS on high settings. Even in Starfield, which is notoriously heavy on the GPU, I got smooth gameplay without having to drop settings too low. If you're into 4K gaming, this card can handle it too, though you might need to tweak some settings for the best balance of performance and visuals. One thing I really appreciate is the power delivery. It uses a 16-pin 12V HPWR connector, which is the new standard for high-end GPUs. That means cleaner power delivery and less strain on your PSU. Just make sure your power supply is up to snuff. AMD recommends at least a 700W unit for this card. I've got a 850W unit in my rig, and it's running perfectly without any power-related issues. The card itself is pretty compact, measuring about 12 inches long. That's great for most mid-tower cases, but if you've got a smaller case, you'll want to double-check the dimensions to make sure it'll fit. It's also got a trio of DisplayPort 2.1 outputs and one HDMI 2.1 port, so you're covered for all your high refresh rate monitors or TVs. I hooked it up to my 144Hz ultra-wide, and the experience was buttery smooth. Another cool feature is the Red Devil's BIOS switch. It's got two profiles, one for performance and one for quieter operation. I've been using the performance mode for gaming and the quiet mode when I'm just browsing or doing light work. It's a small thing, but it's those little conveniences that make a big difference in day-to-day use. Now, let's talk about the price. The RX 9070 XT is positioned as a mid-range to high-end card, so it's not cheap, but it's definitely more affordable than some of the competition. You're getting 16 GB of GDDR6 memory, which is plenty for most games and creative apps right now. And with AMD's pricing strategy, it's a solid value if you're looking to future-proof your rig without spending an arm and a leg. Of course, no product is perfect. The biggest downside I've noticed is the power draw. While it's efficient for what it is, it still pulls a lot of juice, so make sure your PSU can handle it. Also, the RGB lighting is nice, but it's not as customizable as some other cards. If you're picky about your lighting setup, you might want to look elsewhere. All in all, the PowerColor Red Devil Spectral White AMD Radeon RX 9070 XT is a fantastic choice if you're in the market for a new GPU. It's powerful, well-built, and looks great in any rig. If you're ready to upgrade, the link is below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. For most buyers, the real question is not whether PowerColor Red Devil Spectral White AMD Radeon RX 9070 XT 16GB GDDR6 sounds impressive on paper, but whether strengths like power connector and minimum system power actually make daily use feel easier, more dependable, and more worthwhile after the first few days of excitement wear off.